Everybody thought Johnny Manziel was next. Not just good, not just a starter, but a superstar. A Heisman winner, a human highlight reel, a quarterback who made college football feel like a video game. But just 2 years after entering the NFL, he was gone. No starting job, no second chance, no comeback. So, what actually happened? Because this wasn't just about football, this was about hype, pressure, bad habits, and a situation that completely spiraled out of control. And once you see the full timeline, you realize this downfall didn't happen overnight. It was building the entire time. This is DRDTakes. At Texas A&M Aggies football, Johnny Manziel became a legend. In 2012, as a freshman, he didn't just play well, he took over college football. Over 5,000 total yards, 3,700 passing, 1,400 rushing. First freshman ever to win the Heisman Trophy. And then came the moment that changed everything, beating Alabama, the number one team in the country, in their stadium. Running around, dodging defenders, making impossible throws. That's when the nickname stuck, Johnny Football. Manziel didn't play quarterback like everyone else. He played chaos football. He didn't stay in the pocket. He didn't follow structure. He made something out of nothing. And in college, that worked perfectly because defenses weren't fast enough, disciplined enough, or prepared enough to stop it. But here's the problem. What works in college does not always work in the NFL. In 2014, Johnny Manziel was drafted by the Cleveland Browns, 22nd overall pick, and instantly the expectations explode. Fans believed this is the guy who saves the franchise. But behind the scenes, there were already concerns: maturity, preparation, and lifestyle. And the NFL does ignore these things. This is where everything started to fall apart because it wasn't just about football anymore. Reports started coming out: partying during the season, missing meetings, not fully committed to film study, living like a celebrity, not a quarterback. And in the NFL, that matters more than talent because every quarterback is talented. What separates them is preparation, and Manziel was falling behind fast. When he got on the field, the differences were obvious. Windows were tighter, defenses were faster, mistakes were punished instantly, and the backyard style, it stopped working. He struggled with reading defenses, staying in structure, consistently, and without preparation, there was no backup plan. This is something people don't talk about enough. In the NFL, if your team doesn't trust you, you're done. And once reports came out about his work ethic, that trust started disappearing. Coaches didn't trust him, teammates questioned him, and once that happens, you don't get unlimited chances anymore. By 2016, it was over. The Browns released him. 2 years. That's all it took from a Heisman winner to out of the league. He tried to return, played in the CFL, played in fan controlled football, showed flashes, but the NFL never called again because once your reputation is set, it's hard to change. This wasn't just one thing, it was a combination. Play style didn't translate, lack of discipline, off field distractions, poor development environment, lost trust, and when all those stack together, there's no recovery. Johnny Manziel is one of the biggest what ifs in football history because the talent, that was never the issue. The highlights prove that. But the NFL isn't about highlights, it's about consistency, discipline, preparation, and trust. If you don't have those, even the most electric player in the world can disappear like that. So where's Johnny Manziel today? After football, he didn't just disappear. In recent years, Manziel actually been open about everything that happened, talking about his mental health, admitting he wasn't prepared for the NFL, owning up to the lifestyle that hurt his career. He's done multiple interviews and podcasts, breaking down his story from the perspective. And for the first time, you can see a completely different version of him. More self-aware, more honest. Right now, Manziel isn't chasing an NFL comeback. Instead, he's focused on life outside of football. Media appearances, podcast features, business opportunities, staying involved around the game, and while he's no longer Johnny Football on the field, his name still carries weight because people remember what he was. Johnny Manziel is one of the most fascinating stories in football history because it's not just about talent, it's about what happens when talent meets pressure and you're not ready for it. He had everything: the spotlight, the skill, the opportunity, and it all slipped away. But now we're seeing a different side of his story. Not the highlight version, not the hype, but the reality. And sometimes that hits harder than anything we saw on the field. So the question is, was Johnny Manziel a superstar that never reached his potential? Or was this exactly how his story was always going to end? This is DRDTakes. Thank y'all for watching, and God bless.